Welcome to Play Friday, everybody. Let's go. Hey.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Friday.
Yes, so happy Friday.
Yeah. How's your day going?
Fridays are always my busiest days, but
Oh, why?
happy Friday. Because of the cakes, birthday cakes going out for the weekend, things like that.
Okay. So how many orders do you have today?
I have a set of twins.
Aw.
But, yeah, so 2 cakes that are due today, another 2 tomorrow. The good thing is it is spaced out, so it's like, I get to work on them individually, 2 at a time for each day. But you know how everyone looks forward to the weekend? Well, in my case, opposite is the case. I look forward to Mondays.
Wow. That's different. Okay. Has it been like that ever since you started the business?
Pretty much. I mean, the moment people started reaching out to get cakes done, that's pretty much been the routine, yes, from the beginning. Mm-hmm.
Okay. First of all, I would love everyone to know, who you are. Tell them a little bit about yourself, about the story, and how you've come so far.
All right. So, my name is Adeola Umusu. I'm the owner and CEO of DaGashi Bakes. I reside with my family, 4 children, and my husband in Duluth, Georgia. We've pretty much been here for, I think, since 2003, 17 years now. I was born in New York, so most of my years were in New York, back in Staten Island. And in 2003 or 2002, I migrated out here. And Georgia has been, an experience. It's where I started my adult life for real. Coming out here with a daughter and going to get my master's degree from Georgia State University. I studied human resources and organizational development. But pretty quickly, I knew I wasn't a 9-to-5er. I've done so many businesses. In fact, most people that know me around town, that's what they know me for, the serial entrepreneur. They almost think I have ADHD because they say, you can't stay focused. I said, no, when something's not working, I move on. And so, 2003, I think I started my master's degree in 2004, had my second daughter in 2005. My second year of my master's degree, I had my third daughter. And, and I went into, I think, to do an internship. You know how you have to do an internship before you graduate?
Yeah.
And I go in to do the internship, and just one day, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I can do this. I was pregnant. That didn't help. But I knew pretty much that this 9-to-5 thing is just, it's draining for me mentally. And that's when I came home and told my husband that, look, I don't think I can do this 9-to-5 thing. But you know what? And the funny thing with me is I never tell myself I can't do something. In fact, if you want to get me to do something, please try to tell me, oh, Adeola, it's not possible. You can't. That's when I'm out to prove a point to myself that, no, it is. So I think at that point, my husband was like, you know what, I really want you to stay home with the kids and whatnot. And I just noticed that day in, day out, I'm taking care of babies, but I feel useless. I feel like I don't have any impact on anything, really, other than taking care of these kids. It just wasn't enough, And I remember telling him that, I think I'm bored. I'm picking more fights than I normally would, and it's out of boredom. You know how they say an idle mind is the devil's workshop, right?
Yeah.
Well, in my case, it really, that's when I look for the craziest things to just fight about. And so I think the first thing I tried out was, was it vending machine route? Yeah, actually it was, because I remember being pregnant with my third girl, and, you know, doing the vending machine thing. And, you know, that ran for a while. The machine started, you know, giving trouble, and I was like, yeah, we got to let this go. Then I went on to an online furniture store. And the online furniture store was good. I had a lot of wealthy Nigerian customers that were buying, you know, furniture for their new houses. But the one that really left an impact on my business acumen, the one that really made me feel like, yeah, this is something I can definitely do, and it was a DaGashi hair extension. I went into that, I believe, in 2007, and from DaGashi hair, I traveled to like 7 countries, you know, in the pursuit of looking for good hair. It was so important for me to have top quality hair. And it, you know, it was a business that my husband had given me $1,600, and maybe 2 years later, I'm sitting with my accountant, and he's like, he said, why are you treating this business like, you know, we're from Nigeria, like a market woman? I was like, what do you mean?
Oh.
He's like, you ran $250,000 through this thing, and you bringing me one receipt here, one receipt there. And I'm like, I never, it didn't dawn on me that we were pushing those kind of numbers. I was just buying, selling, rebuying, selling, rebuying, and selling.
Wow.
But the business had grown. It really had grown in 2 years. And then it was just like, wow. We were doing trade shows. It was exciting. It was nice. It was interesting. But I realized mine constantly has to be challenged. And sometimes in 2013, I was just like bored. You know, it was on autopilot. You just buy hair, upload it on the website, people buy it, you ship it out. It was, you know, mundane. It was just the same thing in and out. And I was just like, no. Mentally, I was drained. It wasn't challenging my mind in any way. And so I went to God. I was like, you know what, Lord, I need a new gig, but I can't think of anything on my own. I need help. And I remember praying from like January to November. November came, and I'm like, okay, I can't do this, you know, any longer. And I just fasted, and I fasted, and I had a dream. In the dream, I go through someone's store, and the person curses me out real bad.
Whoa.
Like, why did you pick my store? Why did you pick my store? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean any disrespect. I just want to get out. And the next thing I know, the person just hands me these keys. And I'm like, what is this? She's like, here, it's yours. Take it. And I looked around for the first time, and I'm like, oh, my God. This is a bakery. I woke up from my sleep literally laughing because I could not bake for anything. But because I went to bed with a prayer in heart, and after fasting that day, my prayer was, God, show me what my next gig is. Show me what my next move is. I need something new. And then I wake up from a dream that hands me the keys to a bakery. Well, I know God can be a comedian sometimes, but I wasn't going to take that as just another joke. No. I woke up, I told my husband, I said, well, I think baking is the next thing. And God bless my husband's heart. Anything I say I'm doing, he's just like, okay. He's always supporting me, always like, you know, right there.
That's
amazing. If I needed anything. So, yeah. And so, like the number of times before, he was just like, okay. So I go to order my mixer. And I'm starting out with bread. And I remember, like 2 weeks later, after baking bread after bread, everybody's eating it. And bread is delicious right out of the oven. But the true test for good bread is, what does it look like the next day? Well, every time, the next day, it looked like something else. So I remember my brother coming to the house, and he's like, you know, you don't look like a bread baker. I don't doubt your dream, but I don't think it was bread you saw. And then I sat down, I was like, you know what, maybe this dude is right. And I went and started studying the science behind all the ingredients that go into a cake. And the rest is history. I'm now a cake decorator. I eventually went back into bread last year, November. My husband and I run the company now. The girls are grown now. They help out a lot in the bakery. And, the journey has been real. It's been a growing process. And you know how you can be growing but not even be aware of how much growth you are doing. Yeah. So that's where I am for now. Basically, we're running the business, trying to scale it up. Our bread is in a few grocery stores around Atlanta. And, I do the cake decorating part, and it's wonderful. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's amazing. Like, when you started baking, and let me actually ask this question. Your first cake or your first bread, what was that like?
Oh, my God. Okay, so I have a picture of it somewhere. The first cake, remember, the first cake was a naked cake. And I remember when I had finally gotten a recipe that everyone was like, yes, this tastes nice. This is good. The texture is right. I looked at it and I was like, it's a naked cake, Adeola. Who is going to make a naked cake on you? And then the next thing I'm thinking is, okay, I got to go learn how to decorate. So I go back to the drawing board and I decorate. The first cake I decorated, I made sure it was in time for my friend's, I think one of her birthday, 39th birthday party. And it was just for me to practice the decorating skills on a serious level and then hand her a cake. So I handed her a Tiffany blue heart cake with a big white font bow on it. Mm. It was cute, but I wouldn't deliver that to someone today. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it was my first real attempt at at doing something serious with a cake.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah, you have amazing cakes, cupcakes, bread, desserts, amazing places to even have these edibles just at the front of your table. I was looking at one of your breads and I was like, I wonder how this tastes. It's called the spiced rum fruit loaf. I want to know about that, because when I saw the rum, I was like, what percentage of rum is in there? And is it just the taste, or is it because how you cook with wine and then you can feel it, or if you're cooking edibles, that's different. But now with rum, it's like it's bread. So when you're done with that bread, do you get the itis, or do you just turn into another person?
So it's definitely not enough to inebriate you at all. But alcohol actually evaporates pretty quickly. So what happens is we put it in when we're mixing the batter, knowing that it will eventually evaporate. But when it evaporates, the taste of the rum is left behind, but without the alcohol.
That's
but
a trick.
What we do after it's out of the oven is we pour more alcohol on it.
Oh.
If you're someone that appreciates a good dose of alcohol in your food,
yep,
you'll like it.
I need a bag.
You'll definitely love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. It looks really, really good. I love the design, just the way it looks. It looks very rich. The nutrients look heavy and it's filling. I'm definitely sure about that too.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So if you have the spiced rum loaf without the fruit, is that possible, or does the fruit play a big role in the ingredient process?
Well, I'm just going by what the originators started with. So I think it's a cake or bread that started in the West Indies, kind of the Caribbean. So it does have a lot of sweet spices in it, you know, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the brown sugar, and things like that. So the added raisins or currants that we put in it, definitely, it's you know, if you didn't want that in it, we can definitely omit it. You won't really be losing much. It just adds. Oh, wait. So the one of the secrets to that loaf is that we soak the raisin and dried fruit in rum for about 3 weeks.
What?
So with every bite of fruit that you get in there, you will actually be tasting the rum because it's in there. Yes, I forgot about that. Yes. It's actually in there. So that part of the loaf does not, the alcohol there does not bake out. Yeah.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Wow. Okay. And then it's also saying like you can have that sliced with some chai or some English breakfast, you know, or your favorite coffee beverage.
Word. Yes. It's with those beverages you just mentioned, it's amazing breakfast.
Yeah, definitely. Because, you know, when people love a breakfast, they want to see bread, they want to see eggs, they want to see some fruits on the side. And then if you're giving them a spice, it's like you're giving them a whole meal.
I'm telling you. And that's exactly what it feels like when I eat it. I don't get to eat it a lot, but, you know, the few times I would have some yogurt, plain yogurt by the side as well. Maybe a boiled egg, and you got your breakfast. And it really is filling. It really is.
Wow. What about your cakes? What's your favorite cake to bake?
Well, the reason why I think God put me in the line of this cake decorating thing, I can't really get bored because everybody wants a different type of cake, even if it meant the same filled cake, but then just a different design. That has been able to keep me going in this business, where I'm not getting bored because the challenge is different every day. But when it comes to the cake, I started doing this signature cake, which the hints, the flavor hints are condensed milk, a hint of vanilla, and a hint of lemon zest. So not the sour tartness of lemon, but the zesty part of it. And when I introduced that, the question on everybody's mind is, okay, what flavor is this? And, you know, when you say signature, everyone's like, okay, but what is that? And so I always say, look, condensed milk and a lemon zest. It's really, I don't know how to explain it, but it's different in a really nice way.
Okay.
Sometimes I get heavy-handed with the lemon zest, but, you know, it's, generally speaking, it's gotten the most compliments.
Wow. Okay. If somebody wants to like order a cake right now, what do they need to do to get to you?
I would say the best thing is to go to the website, or just call our phone, and that's the best way. But also on Instagram, you can. There's a link there that takes you directly to our WhatsApp, because I like to see pictures before I'm able to give you a quote. So if you have a picture or description of what you want, you can easily just put that in a text and send it to 678-913-8610, or you can go on WhatsApp. I mean, the WhatsApp link on our Instagram bio.
Okay.
And yeah.
I was also going to ask you this about, because you just talked about the website and the Instagram, and this is also DaGashi Bakes. I want to know what is the meaning behind DaGashi, because I noticed you used it for your hair extensions, and now you have it for your bakery. Yes. So what does that word mean to you?
So in 2009, my husband and I were on our way to Malaysia for Malaysian hair, And in the plane, I had been operating the company under the name of Popular Indian Hair, because we were doing Indian hair then. But at that time, I had been to India twice to, get raw hair materials made for DaGashi hair extensions. And in the plane, I remember before going on that trip, my brother, who always has opinions and advice for me all the time, said, I don't think Popular Indian Hair is a catchy, hair brand. Think of something more catchy. And I was like, yeah, I've been thinking about it. So in the plane, I told my husband, I said, whatever my hair means, I want it to mean good hair, because that's what it is. And so I said, Da is good in Yoruba, but and Yoruba is a West African language from Nigeria.
Yeah.
And then he says, and I said, what is hair in Hausa, another language in Nigeria? Because he speaks Hausa. And then he says, oh, it's DaGashi. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to call this company DaGashi. Well, I ran it under the DaGashi for, I don't know, maybe a month. And then I said, you know what, that Diva part just makes it a tongue twister. You drop it. And then that's how DaGashi hair was born. It literally means good hair. When it came time to name the bakery, so flashback, when we came up with the name DaGashi hair, I went online. There was nothing, no word to ever mentioned online to say DaGashi. So I knew I was the one operating that name, and it was mine. Well, when I went to start the bakery 5 years later, I went online, and all of a sudden I'm seeing DaGashi, a Japanese word that means sweet treat. Oh well. That just made it all the more transferable for me. And I was like, well, it means good hair in Yoruba and Hausa, but it also means sweet treats in Japanese. So here we go, DaGashi Bakes. And that's how I was able to just, move the name over.
Wow. Look at that. It's already international.
You can say that again.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great concept, because now when you think about it, it's a household name now. And
yes.
That name now, if you take it to Japan or you take it back to Nigeria, people will understand what it means and they can relate, because they are two products. So they're kind of like getting two in one at the same time.
Yes.
So they're eating good food,
yes,
and they're feeling good.
Right. Absolutely.
I love that. I would definitely want to know more about your recent successful first virtual baking summer camp that happened earlier this month, and it was great to see what happened. And I just want to know what your feedback was, what you took on it, and just the whole idea behind this concept, because I know there's going to be greater events coming everybody else's way in the next few months or coming years for DaGashi.
Well, as you know, you were a big part of that whole thing. So with the pandemic being out there and wanting to occupy, because I could just see my own kids are constantly on Netflix. And I'm a firm believer in learning a handiwork. So something you can do with your hands. When I was growing up, I never really was trained in anything. I was always about my books. Well, when it came time to branch out and do my own business, it so happened that it was handiwork that, got me started, which was being creative with the cakes and all. So I thought, children are home, most likely bored. Why don't I just do this virtual camp thing? Everyone can just tune in from their homes, and we can just run through creating and baking, a slew of things. And it went well. I really, really enjoyed working with the kids. I got a lot of requests from adults that want to learn and come into the business.
Wow.
I'm definitely going to do that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna, do a virtual course for adults to come in and learn. There's room for everybody. I mean, I can only imagine what's the maximum number of cakes I could possibly make by myself in one weekend compared to the population out there. We could go on and on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
it was an amazing experience. I got to know what to do and what not to do next time. One of the things I would love to replicate is having the students really work on their neatness. A lot of them, this is their first time ever even doing anything remotely similar to this. And so I gave everyone a lot of slack when it came to how neat their work was or how, they were following directions. But what I would do next time is maybe make it a little longer with more assignments in between, because I can say to anybody, this thing only happens through constant practice. And I let my students know, even as the course was over or the camp was over, you still had to practice what you learned to be able to really perfect your skills.
Yeah.
And so, that's really what I took away from the summer camp, the virtual summer camp.
Wow. That's amazing. I think the next one that's going to happen is going to be so big that it's going to create a wave, because what I'm getting to see now, especially in this city, is that we don't have arts and culture. What's the word I'm looking for? We don't have arts and culture exhibited, correct? Because, like, for example, I think last year I was planning on a fashion show for this year, but COVID happened. But as I kept doing some research, I got to know that there's never been an Atlanta Fashion Week ever. So the same thing goes for food and bakery. There's nothing like exciting that shows, hey, come to my baking class. Everybody can bake from home, but you need somebody who has been in this for a long time to give you, like you said, that neatness. You don't want to have a cake that looks shabby. You want a cake that looks presentable, and there's some specific techniques that, take that requirement. And I'm sure through your classes that are coming up very soon, people are going to understand what it takes to just bake a cake from scratch and not miss any step.
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So now that I can call you a pro now, and so if somebody, let's say 5 years from now, somebody listens to this and wants to start, or maybe has your story, or because everybody's story is unique, but they probably have a similar story to you and they don't know what to do. But of course, God is in charge of everything and he knows how to deliver his message. But at the same time, from a human perspective, from our own logical perspective, how would you tell that person that has no idea how to bake what to do with their time and resource?
First of all, I have to say you have to be resolute in your heart that this is what you want to do. So I say that because you know how you can try something out and then it doesn't work out and then you just drop it. Well, when it came to the cake and even with the bread, I had to do multiple, a lot of tries. And I could only account that to being determined. So your first 100 cakes, let me say 100, may not be what you're proud of or but guess what? With every cake you make, something gets better. Something is improving. And if you understand that and are determined to make this your thing, you will definitely get there. I've traveled to London to learn cake decorating. I've gone to Nigeria to learn it. And even when I went into the breads, I went back to Nigeria to learn it. And people always ask me the same thing. Why Nigeria? I say to them, Nigeria has bloody talented people. I'm talking about there's raw talent, and they make a lot out of nothing. And for me, the way I learn is to take it from the utmost like, I could have learned it here, but then it would be more, I don't know,
westernized,
scientific, so to speak. Yeah. But I wanted to know from the rudimentary level, like, you know, so someone doesn't have all these tools we have in America. How do they get it done? That's what I wanted to know. And honestly, I spent 2 weeks with 5 amazing cake artists. And when I say amazing, their work can stand next to the best out here. The cake texture and taste might be different, but the decorative work, the finished work, amazing. And I can say that with determination and just a serious goal in mind, I kept at it. I kept moving. At some point, I deviated. Yeah, in 2015, I went and I joined an IT course. I got sick and tired of them because, again, it was a 9 to 5, and I came right back to my cake business. And once I told myself that this is it or nothing else, the progress was amazing. It was amazing, overwhelming. And so what my advice would be to anyone is to first determine in your heart if this is what you want to do. And don't give heed to the mishaps or the lack of perfection initially. But always make it a goal, though. You want to always strive for that perfection, but know that it won't come immediately. But keep at it, and you'll surely find it.
Yeah. That's great. That is amazing. I think you just reminded me of when I tried to make my first cake. This was when I was, I think, 13 or so. And you know, like how they have those cake mixes in the stores? So I got one cake, and I can't forget because I've baked before, but I really don't remember the process because, like you said, practice. If you don't practice, you lose the finesse. So I kind of lost my finesse along the way. And for some reason, I ended up baking, and I think I left it in the oven for like, I think 5 minutes extra. And when it came out, the cake was like meat. It was like, it was so bad. I can never forget that evening. I looked at the cake. I was sad. I was like, this is a big cake to start with. So how do I can't eat this, and I can't give this to anybody. So I threw it away, unfortunately. I tasted it first just to know if it's really cake, you know, but it wasn't. And after that day, I said, yeah, some things are not for me. And like you said, I'll leave it to the pros. And I'm so excited that I was able to even connect with you. Shout out to Rashida, by the way, because if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have even been able to have this meeting, even though we kind of met in between indirectly, but she was the one that really put us on. So I appreciate her for that. And I also appreciate you too. This is something that I think will spark the minds of people to learn how to bake. And even if it's not baking, something that they're passionate about, just go through that process, like you said, the fasting, the prayer, the focus, and not just losing interest, because you don't want to do something that 10 years later you're regretting because you were trying to please somebody.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Wow. Thank you so much. This information that you've talked to us about is great. Now all I want to know is what's next. What's coming next for DaGashi in the next 6 months to a year? What's happening?
Well, definitely by God's grace, we're opening up a storefront. Our first of many. Yes. And at our storefront, you'll get delicious breakfast loaves, like the spicy and the spiced rum cake. You'll get the spiked banana loaves and zucchini bread. And then we'll also feature our regular bread line, the A.G.E style bread. We have our coconut flavor Nutella, sardine bread. And you can trust me, if you're not a sardine fan, don't worry. Don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah. I love sardines.
Yeah, like so we're definitely going hard in the next 6 months. By God's grace, like I said, look forward to hearing about our grand opening. You may not be able to come because of COVID, but we'll be open to serve the public. Come in for your snacks, your desserts, your party treats. We're definitely there for you.
Amazing. Are there going to be any upcoming events like you just had earlier this month that people can look forward to, or when the time comes, you let them know?
Only because of the shop we're working on now, we will. I had to pause on the virtual courses that we were doing.
Yeah.
But the moment we're open, people can definitely look forward to it. Especially since it seems like we're going to be home for another long while. Once we're settled in the store, I'll definitely take that up again. So you can look forward to more virtual courses in the next 2 months, 3 months maybe. And we'll definitely let our listeners know about it. And hopefully Favor would be the one to spread the word for me.
Oh, definitely. You're going to be hearing from me a lot, guys. Definitely. I'm going to be in your ear, in your face. Like, just keep coming, because we have to give you sweet treats. We have to show you that there's good product out here. You have to support Black business. You have to support innovators. You have to support, visionaries, because one day your kids are going to be the same visionaries. So you need to support them. So why not start now and build a stronger foundation for them,
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This has been a great talk. I didn't know much of this, and now I'm even more pumped to even do more for us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it a lot.
You're most welcome. You heard it first here on Play Friday Show. Take care, guys.